Dick's Sporting Goods. It is survival of the fittest here in North Carolina as two more teams fight to stay alive. Two teams from the Northeast battle in the Southeast as Toms River Little League from New Jersey faces Bristol Girls Softball Little League from New England. Our elimination day got off to a thrilling start today. Pitcher Maddie Locke for Washington did most of her damage at the plate. 3 for 3, 4 runs batted in, including a solo shot in the first. They trailed 2-1, wound up rallying to win 7-3, and advance to tomorrow, where they'll face either Canada or Italy. 6 more teams hoping to set another eliminate for tomorrow. Nat Schick alongside Jenny Dalton-Hill. It's New Jersey versus Connecticut. Both teams had to rally in different ways, shapes, and forms in their respective regionals to get to Greenville. Their backs are against the wall right now.
Both of these teams, though, are so gritty. They know how to play in tight situations. The pressure is on, though, knowing that it's win or go home.
Well, Jalen Brown for New Jersey. She started the game in the loss to Japan. She can pepper the strike zone. Sometimes that does her in.
It does. Because she's so consistent around the zone, it does leave her vulnerable at times for the big hit. But she used the changeup so much, she was able to really disrupt some barrels for Japan. And with that, got 4 strikeouts. Japan was too much for them to handle, though, and they came away with the loss in the opener.
And for Connecticut, they lost last night to Kentucky in a run rule margin, and they also lost their ace pitcher, Ava Lafergie, who will not pitch today.
And I think that's maybe the story of this ball game. How are they going to respond without their ace in the circle, knowing that they have to go to a different arm? Excited to see the way that both of these teams show up in an elimination game.
Yeah, Lafergie only went an inning and 2/3, gave up 5 earned runs last night. She's in the lineup today. She will hit, not scheduled to play in the field. It's the second elimination game of the day, a battle of the Northeast in the South here in the Little League Softball World Series. Having a ton of fun this week in Greenville. The Little League Softball World Series is presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. Maddie Locke was locked in today. A home run, 4 strikeouts in the circle as well. The two-way star keeping Northwest alive. And now these two teams, the Mid-Atlantic region champs and New England region champs, hoping to survive and advance as well. The winner will play the winner of California and Japan. That game coming up later on today. Bristol Girls Softball Little League from Bristol, Connecticut. Reportedly where ESPN has been headquartered since 1979. Let's meet the girls near Middle Street.
Hi, my name is Lucy Bastians, and my favorite celebrity is Paige Beckers.
My name is Lucy Callett, and my favorite emoji is unicorn.
Hi, my name is Juliana Pavlak, and my favorite hobby is writing.
My name is Ellie Tisha, and my favorite candy is Swedish Fish.
My name is Ava Lafergie, and my favorite artist is Olivia Rodrigo.
My name is Mary Thompson, and my favorite hobby is to do puzzles.
My name is McKinley Whitlock, and my favorite softball player is Taylor Shoemaker.
My name is Dakota Green, and my favorite game is Roblox.
Hi, my name is Avery Collins, and my favorite movie is The Titanic.
My name is Steven Knowles, and my favorite food is yogurt rolls.
Hi, my name is Alex Patterson, and my favorite song is 24 Karat Magic.
My name is Faith Marie, and my favorite food is baked ziti.
The ladies from Bristol, Connecticut, trying to put up some more offense than they did last night. They were out hit 14-4. and didn't score until the 4th inning.
Yeah, it's going to come down to getting people on and moving them over. Jalen Brown's going to fill the zone with strikes, so they have to attack the strikes that have velocity behind them, knowing that she uses a ton of changeup.
Lucy Bastians will start in the circle for New England today, and for New Jersey, the pitching counterpart will be Jalen Brown.
And Jalen Brown, we mentioned it multiple times, great changeup. She uses it multiple times in every batter. She threw all but 1 inning at regionals, threw all 5 innings in that loss, allowed 4 hits, 4 strikeouts in that opener. They are looking for her to control the tempo of this ball game.
Went 5 innings yesterday, 4 hits, 4 runs, just 1 of them earned, striking out 4 and walking a pair. New Jersey and Connecticut fans here making the trip to Greenville, North Carolina, and hoping one of these teams, or one of them will, finish and end this day with a win as the rain continues to come down here in the top of the 1st inning. And you see the pitcher, and this is going to be something that happens probably most of the day today, is Jalen Brown asking for as dry a softball as she can.
And managing the weather is going to be really important from the circle. Not only do they need to keep their hand dry, but they need to keep the ball dry as well.
See Bastians waves at that change.
And you can see the frustration of Bastians knowing that that was a changeup and she had time to lay off of it. You are going to see that pitch in every at bat and potentially multiple times.
In the dirt, scooped by Gay. 1-2 to Bastians, one of the team's catalysts, left right-handed hitter. Likes mac and cheese and Mookie Betts. Not necessarily in that order. That one rolled in there from Brown, 2-2.
Getting a grip on the ball is going to be the challenge here. We are seeing it fall, the rain fall at a more consistent clip as this game gets started. Rain was a factor in all of game 1 this morning. But as it continues to fall, it's going to be difficult for these pitchers to maintain that grip on the ball.
3-2 now to Bastians. So as a pitcher, how often are you asking for a new ball there?
I mean, what's happening is she's got a towel on her back hip, but even the towel's getting wet, so it's not helping her keep her hand dry.
Swing and a miss. Bastians bangs the bat in frustration, 1 down.
And that's the pitch that is so frustrating because it comes in looking so big and ready to hit, but without the velo, you swing and miss before it even gets into a hittable zone. Bastians knew that she was way ahead.
1 batter, 1 strikeout for Brown. That off speed is high to Kiva Knowles.
I think what you're going to start seeing, though, is Brown in the circle is going to have to just rely on the pitches that are working, knowing that her grip is going to be compromised for most of this ball game.
Brown asking for a new ball.
I mean, there's not going to be any part of her uniform or that towel that is dry enough to be able to get her hand wet. So she may just need to put that towel all the way in her pocket so she can reach her hand inside so it can stay dry.
Rain has been one of the main stars this week at the Little League Softball World Series. That one is high and a 4-pitch walk to Kiva Knowles.
Did you just say the Rain is a star? Because right now I think the Rain is a villain because of the way that it continues to impact these ball games. We've sat in this booth more than we've watched softball, it feels like.
Lucy Callett now at the plate. 5 straight off of the plate here. As the 13-year-old is at the plate. Very consistent player. That one is low. Back pick is late. Lucy Callett, 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored yesterday against Kentucky. Did come on in relief of Lafergie. And pitched an inning and a third, giving up a couple of earned runs.
I mean, it's all hands on deck today without Lafergie in the circle. They're going to have to really rely on all the arms.
That off speed, lifted to left. Coming in to make the nice play is Carly Leonard. 2 down.
Fantastic outfield play. A ton of ground that had to be made up by Carly Leonard because she was playing deep, respecting the power that Callett has at the plate. But with the ball off the end of the bat, it's a shallow fly ball that Leonard's able to track in nicely.
2 down now for Ava Lafergie. Again, injured yesterday. Gay throws down, out in time.
And something you have to remember when you're sliding on wet dirt, you need to slide a little bit later because you're not going to track on the ground. You're going to get stuck. So later slides are necessary on this kind of playing surface.
Or don't slide at all.
That was my subtle way of saying you need to slide.
I mean, you can be more direct if you'd like. You can take it. Sliding so late, you didn't do it at all.
Didn't even do it.
Ava Lafergie, good to see her in the lineup today after leaving early because of what seemed to be a lower body injury.
Yeah, it looked as though her lower right leg was having some issues, which is her lower. It was just unfortunate to see her come out of the game because she wasn't even able to walk.
That one gets by Gay, the catcher. And now Knowles is 60 feet away.
When it was the lower left leg that was affecting Lafergie yesterday, and that is the leg that has to be the brakes in a swing. You can only swing as hard as that front leg is strong. And so being able to create that solid front side is what creates the whip and power through your swing.
A 3-1 to Lafergie. That one is high. So the second walk of the first inning.
I'm just so grateful that she is running to first base. That is a great look for someone who wasn't even able to put pressure on that leg coming off the field last night.
And you wonder, get her feet wet a little bit. Maybe we'll see her in the circle. We'll see.
Everybody's feet are wet, Matt.
It's well done. Whitlock now at the plate. Daughter of third base coach and manager Adam Whitlock. All our coaches, head coaches, wearing microphones here in this tournament. That one hops, and Lafergie heads to second base.
But to your point, Matt, if Lafergie is able to run this way, is she going to be able to enter the game later in the circle and help her team out?
The throw back, and just diving back in was Knowles at third. The 2-1. on the outside corner. It's 2-2.
That's a generous strike, but if it's going to be called, I would continue to throw that pitch to that spot as a pitcher. As a hitter, though, you need to be aware that that could be called strike 3.
Waves through that one, and a big strikeout for Jaylen Brown. Strikes out the leadoff batter and closes out the inning with a K.
After a tough start in the game with a lot of rain, Jaylen Brown gets 2 strikeouts in the inning. Nice swing and miss to put her team back in the dugout to be able to pick up the bats.
Matt Chick, Jenny Dalton Hill here with you. Connecticut unable to push a run across in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first now to meet New Jersey.
My name is Gia Ghetto. My favorite singer is Justin Bieber.
Hi, my name is Shaylin Seaman, and my favorite athlete is Aaron Judge.
Hi, my name is Juliana Floric-Doslick, and my favorite sport to watch is volleyball.
My name is Sophia Tolentino, and my favorite baseball player is Ben Rice.
My name is Carly Leonard, and my favorite singer is Taylor Swift.
Hi, I'm Misha Kopin, and my favorite celebrity is Paige Beckers.
My name's Frankie Velarde, and my favorite actor is Adam Sandler.
My name's Briella Bogner, and my favorite TV show is Grey's Anatomy.
Hi, my name's Annalise Curley, and my favorite sports team is New York Mets.
My name's Jaylen Brown, and my favorite subject is social studies.
My name is Aviana Gay, and my favorite video game is Baseball 9. Hi, my name is Liana Gay, and my favorite athlete is Francisco Lindor.
Toms River, New Jersey, the champions of the Mid-Atlantic region on Sunday. They never led in their loss to Japan. Trailed 3-0 after the first inning. They out-hit Japan 5-4, but only pushed 1 run across.
Well, and looking at the 4 spot, Briella Bogner, she got the big double. They're looking for her to put some more power up today, but they're going to have to set the stage for her with runners on before she comes up with that big bat.
And they will face Lucy Bastians. Getting the start in the circle. What do we expect here from this multi-sport athlete?
When Bastians hasn't thrown in a game, did not throw in regionals, did not throw yesterday, and with that multiple off speeds and change-ups is what you're going to see mixed with that fastball to spots.
Annalise Curley at the plate. Now you're sure that Bastians, even though she hasn't pitched, was probably working at it perhaps late last night and this morning, knowing that the ace was injured. And that one is ripped to left. Annalise Curley timed that one up well. And a leadoff single in the first.
Just so important to take advantage early in a ball game against a pitcher who is new to the circle. You welcome them by putting the ball in play. Hard shot out there to left, and anytime you get a ball to the grass, you should be looking to take extra bases, because getting the ball in effectively with any kind of velocity on that throw is difficult when the ball is as wet as it's going to be after hitting the grass.
Now it's Frankie Velarde, known as Frank the Tank, now at the plate. Great shortstop here for this team. Was 0 for 2 Sunday in the loss to Japan, but was huge in the regional with 4 hits, including a triple. Squares, puts that one down, and it's a great one. You are not going to get her at first. And now the shortstop has to run over to cover third base. Collins, as that was left vacant, but nice bunt there from Velarde, 2 on.
Well, and great patience to allow that changeup to come in. Did not allow her barrel to drop, but just stayed right on top of it, bunting it down the third base line. And over there at third, nothing she could do. She was too quick down the line.
Jaylen Brown was thinking about another bunt here.
Well, knowing the kind of offensive struggles they had with kind of racking hits together, putting the ball in play right now is probably the best way to attack this defense.
Pulls it back, 2-0.
All good teams should be able to put the bunt down throughout the entire batting lineup. And so in this situation, if that's going to be what's asked, you've got to stay on top of the ball.
Bastians struggling here to find control. And a 4-pitch walk, and the bases are now loaded.
2 hits and a free pass. You can already see the heavy moment on Bastians' face. She did not throw in regionals, has not thrown here in the World Series. Let's listen in.
Right here if we make the play at home. So we're going to play at 55. I think infield, if we play up, we're going to have a little bit more time to make plays anyway because it's a slow infield. And we got great gloves, all right? So let's read the play before we start moving, right? I'm not worried about second. Let's get him at home here, all right? LB comes to you, let's get him at home. Comes to you, let's get him at home. You've got a choice to make. We can always pivot. Thank you, Blue.
That is Adam Whitlock, Senior Director of ESPN Remote Traffic Operations there at Bristol. A colleague, if you will, there at ESPN. And really a good tone to that message. No panic, just saying, here's what we're going to do. And what Bastians is going to do is get out ahead 0-1 here to Briella Bogner, who was 1 for 2 with a double in Sunday's loss to Japan. That one hit her. 1-0 New Jersey.
Just a difficult situation right now for Connecticut, knowing that their ace had to be relieved from the game last night after 1 2/3 innings, and they need her in the circle. But right now, Bastians just needs to find the strike zone and allow her defense to play.
And a big bat here for Carly Leonard. Looks at the first pitch strike. Had a pair of triples in the regional. Doesn't fear the big moment, according to her coaches on this team. The 0-1.
You mentioned those 2 triples that Leonard had in regionals, also had 5 RBI. Right now, the potential for driving in runs is so high with the bases loaded.
Coach Gay down there firing him up from the third base coaching box. Little excuse me check swing, 2-2.
In a 2-2 count, you definitely have to protect the plate, but more than anything, you've got to be aware of that off speed that Bastians is known for out of the circle. So staying in your legs, not trying to do too much. With the infield pulled in, you're just looking for a hard ground ball, punching it past the infielders.
Carly Leonard, an opportunity to blow the game open here in the first with a swing. Right back up the box and through. Velarde scores. Brown is held up at third, and the bases remain loaded. It's 2-0.
And as a hitter, when you see that the infield is pulled in, it opens up great potential to just hit a hard shot on the ground and find a hole, knowing that lateral movement is going to be decreased because of their distance from the plate. So that hard shot right back up the middle, there's no way that Mary Thompson, the second baseman, can get to that ball. Gets in quickly, but not without a run scoring first.
Juliana Florek-Doslik now at the plate. the 6-hole hitter, the first baseman for Toms River Little League. Toms River Interim North School, Intermediate North, the school where Jules attends. She's got some blazing speed, going to try and put it to use. That one is foul, 1-1.
And against Japan, this Connecticut or this New Jersey team was having a hard time picking a speed between fast and changeup. So because of that, they found themselves in between speeds and not able to square up a ton of balls. Today, doing a really good job of attacking velocity and just putting the ball in play.
Mom Brittany, the GM of Aquatot Swim School, in the stands here today.
Pretty valuable knowing there's a big creek back behind the field.
And there's a lot of rain here. You might need some help getting out of here.
I forgot my floaties.
The 2-1. Strike catches the outside corner. Bastian's battling here. That one is ripped down the left field line and fair. Brown scores, Bogner scores, Leonard scores all the way from first. Floric Doslick in there with a bases clearing triple.
And the way that Doslick attacked this ball inside, down in the zone, hard hit down the line with bases juiced. And look at Coach just waving his arm, trying to get those runners around as fast as possible with that ball down in the left field corner. Triple for Juliana Floric. Doslick had a triple in regionals as well. Look at that ball just finding its way right inside the fair line.
And now a pitching change here for Connecticut. We will take a break and tell you about the next pitcher here for Connecticut. Lucy Callett is going to step into the circle. Their team down 5-0.
Pitching change for New England. Taking over in the circle number 6, Lucy Callett. Callett now pitching. Additional defensive changes. Now playing shortstop number 5, Lucy Bastians. Moving to third base, 17, Avery Collins.
Game Changer, the official scorekeeping technology partner of the Little League World Series. Coach smarter. Connect live and replay the action on Game Changer, the #1 youth sports app. Live the game like never before. Connecticut in a 5-0 hole with no outs here in the first inning. Yeah, Game Changer will show you. Not going great for Bristol right now. They are making some changes. Lucy Callett is now in the circle. Bastians goes to shortstop. And Avery Collins slides over to third base. And Ellie Tisha is in center. Callett delivers, ball high.
When Callett has a very similar arsenal to that of Bastians, just a fastball and a changeup, but she is one who loves to just work locations, find corners.
Leona Gay, swing and a miss. Gay, the rising 8th grader, her twin sister Leona, also on the team. And Dad, the head coach. This one to third and through the legs of Bastians, who just moved over to short. And we'll score that an E6, but a run does score. It's 6-0.
I don't know what it is about the game of softball, but if you change positions or enter the game, the ball is always going to find you. And in this situation, she sat back, almost took a step backwards before fielding that ball. You never want to give a ball a chance to play you like that. The best way to approach that ball is to make sure that you have at least one step moving forward through that fielding potential.
6-0 here for New Jersey. Sophia Tolentino here with nobody out. And a long bottom of the first inning. The rain has let up, but New Jersey's offense has not. That one in the dirt and gets past the catcher, Green. You don't have many options here if you're Connecticut. At this point, it's just pitch to contact, try and find the zone, and hopefully the ball will find someone who can make a play and we get out of this inning. But just looking for an out at this point.
Well, and I think more than anything, you nailed it. Put the ball into the zone and allow your defense to play behind you. They just need to make sure that they are ready for that play. You have to be thinking about what your play is going to be before the pitch is delivered. So as a shortstop, as a second baseman, you've got to figure out, if the ball pulls me this way, where am I going? If the ball pulls me the other way, where should my play be?
3-1 to Sophia Tolentino. Had a pair of hits in regional, was 1 for 2 in Sunday's loss to Japan. Has some power, has some speed. We'll see if she can beat this one out. She can't. Nice throw there from Collins. Recently installed there at third base, and it moves the runner to the third, and 1 out now in the first.
Just putting the ball down on the ground, you can tell that New Jersey wants to take advantage of as many opportunities to score as they can, knowing that a win here extends their time at the Little League World Series.
Liana Gay now trying to drive in her sister. Aviana Gay, who's at third. And Dad is coaching third at the World Series. Pretty cool. Gay puts the bunt down. Dad trying to coach her up.
Strikes only, strike, tag it up on a fly ball. Look, no, stay home on all, stay home on all.
That one flared to right, and that will get down in front of Faith Marie Soto. Aviana Gay scores on the single from her sister, and it's 7-0.
Outside part of the plate. Actually left down the middle of the plate and just behind that ball. Keeps the barrel back, drives it the other way. I mean, that's great situational hitting, knowing that you got a runner on 3, you want to hit behind.
The Gay duo getting it done here as Gia Gatto now fouls this one away. Aviana and Liana having a great day so far as sisters, and their dad coaching third.
More.
Seven, 7-0 New Jersey.
More.
Ooh, that's a really nice pitch by Khaled. And it's a difficult situation that she's in out there in the circle. She came in with a huge deficit, bases loaded, and now just trying to get her defense to show up behind her.
Gatto flares this one, a short hop to the shortstop. Bastians, nice scoop there at first by Knowles. 2 down.
And that's a situation right there. Without Kiva Knowles over there at first base, that ball's going to get by, get to the backstop, or get to the foul territory there. That's a fantastic pick by Knowles over there.
And they're going to pinch run for their catcher with 2 outs. Liana Gay is at second base. And her father, with that thick New Jersey accent, is going to make the switch.
Your attention, please. Now running at second base.
For the previous play here with this stop here by Knowles. Get down and block that thing up.
I mean, sacrificing her body, but does a great job with the leather to secure the out. Well, probably not the way it's taught to pick the ball,
No.
but at the same time, right now it's just get us back in the dugout.
Misha Koppen now at the plate with Gatto at second base. 2-0. Misha Koppen, one of my favorite players. We share the same birthday, October 11th.
I'm going to say probably not the same year.
She is much older.
I'm going to call it a leak.
I believe they check those birth certificates in districts. Koppen, oh, that one just slipped out of the hands of Khaled. And a 4-pitch walk. Now they're going to send Koppen to second base without a throw.
Well, and when things aren't going well, the game can often feel like it's speeding up. And with that, it'll bring head coach out to the circle.
I'm going to bring in Ava. I'm going to put you into center field, all right? Nothing to be worried about. We can hit. Hey, we stay composed up here. Hey, listen, 6-inning game. Nobody wins in the first inning. We can hit. Stay composed up here. I'm telling you right now, you don't have to worry about it because this will never happen again. Let them have 1 inning. We're going to get the next 5. All right? All right. We're going to go out to center. Go out to center. Send Faith Marie in, please.
So some more changes here for Coach Whitlock. As another change is being made. Lucy Khaled comes out. We'll tell you about the new pitcher coming up.
Pitching change for New England. Now in the circle, number 4.
Welcome back to the Little League Softball World Series presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Some changes being made here. Coach Whitlock having a conversation with Ava Lafergie.
We throw strikes. We got a great defense behind you. We'll be absolutely fine, okay? All right. You got it.
Lafergie, who didn't get out of the second inning last night because of a lower leg injury. We didn't think we'd see her in the field today, and now we see her in the circle in the first inning.
Yeah, and if Lafergie has been able to pitch, I actually wonder why we didn't see her to start this ball game, knowing that she is the ace of this ball club.
Lafergie, the ground ball to Thompson at second. It goes off the glove. That'll play 2 more runs and sliding into second base, and that gets by nearly everybody. Shaylin Seaman, the 12-hole hitter, plates 2 more.
And exactly what coach asked her to do, allow her defense to play behind her. The problem is this one went through the wickets, and with it doing so, then ensued a lot of overthrows, a lot of mistakes, and with those, more runs coming across.
Third baseman Annalise Curley.
And now Annalise Curley, as New Jersey has batted around here in the first inning. It is a game of playing catch defensively, and New Jersey, Connecticut struggling with that a little bit here in this first inning. Hurley looks at that one for a ball. Error on the second baseman on that hit from Seaman. And this one is skied to right center field. Tisha going back and makes the catch. But not before 9 come home here in the first. 9 runs on 6 hits for a New Jersey team that struggled to score in their previous game to Japan. Those concerns in the rearview mirror. Follow the amazing kids as they experience their own Little League World Series adventure. Download the Little League World Series app and watch highlights, photos, schedules, and more available in the app stores for Apple and Android devices. There are a lot of different unique toys and gadgets and good luck charms that these teams use.
Yeah, and you know what? Everybody loves to be able to have the edge, but at the same time, New Jersey, biggest first inning we've seen.
We've seen a ton of runs scored in the first inning. 9 there by New Jersey.
Leading off the top of inning number 2, Port of England, third baseman,
37 runs in this tournament have come in the first inning. 37 out of 111. That's 33%. 1/3 of the runs right here in inning number 1. Now we go to inning number 2, and Avery Collins. 6, 7, and 8 due up here. Jaylen Brown working from ahead.
And you heard the message of the Connecticut coach talking about how he just needs his team to keep whittling away. You can't let the 9 runs on the scoreboard intimidate you. You have to just keep thinking past the bat, get a base hit. One swing doesn't win it.
Collins to short, and a nice play by Frank the Tank.
I see you, Frankie, out there at shortstop. That was a hot shot. Off the bat, that ball had some giddy up, but right at Frankie Velarde at shortstop. Does dive at the end. A little flare for the first out of the inning.
You hear the Frank the Tank chants. Awesome to see. That one goes foul.
Look at the confidence of these hitters in the lineup for Connecticut. That's the kind of ABs you want to see put together after a really tough inning in the bottom of the first.
Briscoe girls softball Little League. They're on the fence cheering on their batter up, Mary Thompson. Got one little flare to second base. Eviana Gay got to be quick with it. Actually, that's Gatto in there in time.
And the only way that that play is able to be made is by the aggression of Gatto, who is new in at second base this inning. Because it was so softly hit, she had to charge that ball hard and deliver a nice throw over to first base.
Close play. And the correct one.
Yep. Great call by the first base umpire. But it looks as though we're going to take this to review.
It's a good call. And we will review it. Each team gets 2 unsuccessful challenges. Coach Whitmore talking things over here with his players. New Jersey gathering in the circle.
So what you're looking for is the ball secured in the web of the glove before the foot hits the bag. And that's a great shot by our camera crew to be able to give you that look right there. Yeah, the coach at first definitely not correct in that one. But I love that Mike Bastian's over there at first base trying to sell the safe call.
Well, when you're down 9-0, you don't have a lot to lose with a review like this. The other thing to watch is to make sure that Flor Doslick had her foot on the base, and it does appear like she does.
Really nice stretch. This is the look that sells it for me. In the glove there, foot not on the bag.
Runner's foot not on the bag.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sorry, correct.
Flor Doslick, yes, it's great job of stretching there. I give the umpires in our reviews a lot of credit here. These have been fairly quick. They have not taken a long time. Wow.
So they changed it. I didn't see that coming.
We saw every angle that they would see. It looked like the ball was in the webbing and secured, but instead it is overturned.
Well, when we're making that call collegiately, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the ball to be secured in the glove before the base runners.
So they did make the call because of Flor Doslick's foot being off the base, and that was something I called our attention to, but it was hard to tell from our angles if her foot was off that base. Dakota Green waves through that one.
Really nice changeup by Jaylen Brown to be able to get that swing and miss. That is a devastating pitch. She throws it so often.
Green to second. Gatto to second for one. The flip to first. Not in time. Really good exchange there. Gatto to Velarde. Nearly got the double play. That's tough to get with these 60-foot bases.
It definitely is. But the way that they made that exchange, look at that backhand flip at a girl and then staying inside the baseline to avoid the advancing base runner. That's pretty textbook right there.
Ellie Tisha now at the plate. Jaylen Brown doing a nice job finding that control here as we look at Tisha. Plays the clarinet, wants to become a teacher. There's only one outfield putout during the regionals that Bristol made, and it was Tisha. One and two.
I'm really impressed with the way that they have come out, swinging the bat, putting pressure on this defense. But the defense for New Jersey just continues to execute.
Brown up with it and makes the play. Another good stretch there and grab by Juliana Flor Doslick. Well, the youngsters are here. We've got the pros in the house as well. Maya Johnson, she threw out the first pitch, giving some folks some advice, celebrating the game. She joins us next. Softball returning to Greenville, North Carolina for the AUSL Pro Game presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, set to take place tomorrow. Learn more at littleleague.org/athletes unlimited. Maya Johnson will be out there for that. She's in the booth now, and you threw out the first pitch today as well. When did they tell you you were going to throw out the first pitch?
Like 10 minutes before.
Okay, so all right, so how would you compare that, knowing you're going to start a game versus, okay, you're going to throw out a first pitch?
You know, I was way more nervous for that. You don't want to hurt the little girl, and I wasn't warm. It was raining a little bit.
A lot of excuses.
I'm hearing
excuses. A lot of excuses. You're it was a little wide, but it hit the glove.
Yeah.
Hit the glove.
You know, I was nervous. I walked out there like, you know, you're throwing the first pitch. And I said, I do know.
Thanks for the info.
Yeah. So
Appreciate it.
I'm going to take that into account next year when Bandits play Spark and be like, hey, just remember that first pitch. Need you to be a little bit more nervous the next time we play you.
I didn't want to be one of those memes. Like, you see the first pitch gone wrong, I'm like, I get paid to do this for my career. I can't mess it up.
If you're with 50 Cent, we got a big problem if they're throwing you into that montage. Top 5 pick of the 2026 AUSL draft. Pitch for Belmont as we're looking here. Wet conditions here too. That's tough as a pitcher.
Yes, I was talking to some of the girls about if they had any tricks before the game for when it's wet, because I noticed the rain, and I was telling them that I used to rosin the inside leg of my pants so that when you swipe when it's wet, it stays dry, because your rosin on the ground just gets ruined.
Well, and not only that, but they don't really have a dry part of their uniform with how much it's been raining, and so when you've had to deal with maybe struggling to find a grip, what do you do to make it a little bit better?
I think for me, it's relying a little bit more on my off speed. I think that's easier to hold when it's wet. And then, like I said, I would rosin the very inside in between my legs. I would rosin my pants there because I knew that was going to be the driest spot that I could go to and wipe. And I think a lot of it's just trusting your spin. And if you get it in the exact vicinity of the plate and you're spinning it well, it's probably still going to give you the outcome that you want.
And it's not just the ball, it's also the circle. And it gets a little sloppy, and you saw Lafergie kind of complaining about that a little bit. What can you do as a pitcher when you got a circle like this with the rain?
I used to carry a popsicle stick in my back pocket, and except for your cleats, I think even though the landing's a little bit slick, it's hard when it all kind of cakes to the bottom of your shoes. So having anything you can to get your spikes clean so that they stick a little bit better, I think is the priority. But it's tough conditions. A raining game is always a game whenever you know you're starting, you're like, oh goodness, I hope this goes okay. Rainy games are never a pitcher's best friend. So.
No, they're not, but you have a really nice off speed as well. And what goes into a good off speed pitch?
I think you have to sell it. One of the things that we do with off speed is to screw up the batter's timing. And so if you're slowing your body down or slowing yourself down, you're announcing to everybody you're throwing a different pitch. So I think for me, it's just trying to sell it and make it look exactly like everything else, knowing the spin's going to be the thing that slows it down.
Frank the Tank with I might rule that an error here, as the throw would have beaten Velarde. A great stretch. My goodness, that's a great stretch, but Knowles unable to hold on to that.
And when you've got these wet conditions, how important is it for your defense to show up behind you, knowing that you might be struggling with grip in the circle?
I think in a rainy game, you know that your defense is going to have to make some more plays, but you have to recognize everyone's in the wet conditions. By the time the ball gets to your fielder, the ball's hard to throw to first base. So she just did a great job right there, holding on to it.
Nice play by Avery Collins there at third to get the out. One away. Well, a little bit about your journey here. How was your first season with the AUSL?
It was so good. The coaches are awesome. The AUSL is an incredible experience. It was just such a moment where my entire career felt like it was coming to fruition, and all the hard work that you put in since you're their age at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. It kind of, to see it come full circle, it was incredible. Got to see so many new cities, places I'd never traveled. I've made some of my best friends. Some of my teammates are visiting me in Nashville in a couple weeks. So it was an incredible summer, incredible experience.
Real Bogner at the plate and right into the glove. Try for a double play. Nice play there by Knowles at first, right into the glove, and thinking ahead to try and get that double play.
I mean, what a sharp hit. Gotta love the kind of barrel that got put on that ball, but defense showing up so well for Kiva Knowles over there at first base. She has been one of the best defenders in the infield for this game.
Harley Leonard looks at it off speed. Maya, you talk about your journey and what you've had to overcome. Well documented. overcame and have been dealing with lupus, and it's certainly a huge part of your life. How would you describe your journey?
I think for me, it's a journey of just not being okay with people telling you you can't. I think there's been a lot of hurdles that were put in front of me, whether that was not getting cleared at my first university, the chemotherapy I had to go throughout this fall. There's been a lot of stuff that's been put in front of me, and a lot of people that told me maybe you shouldn't or maybe you can't. And so I think it's one of those things where you rely on the people that believe in you, you lean into your support system, and you work every day to prove people wrong. And so again, it was so cool to play in the AUSL this summer for my rookie season, and to kind of show that nothing can stop you.
How many scholarship offers as we see the base runner head to second base and now trying to get into a run down. The run does score. That's the 10th run of the game as Carly Leonard drew the defense's attention after that walk, got into the rundown and overthrow, and now the 10th run of the game does score. Back to your journey. How many scholarship offers did you have?
The first time I was in the portal, or the second time?
When you came out of high school?
When I came out of high school, very few. I would say maybe 5 or 6 my junior year. And then after my first year at Pitt, when I wasn't cleared, I had maybe 5 or 6 as well. And then when I was in the portal thinking my program wasn't going to work out, I had a lot more, probably upwards of 60, 70 offers that year before I decided to return to Belmont.
So it takes time,
it
right?
Does. It does.
Especially in this day and age of college athletics. People, especially in youth sports, think, oh, if my kid doesn't do this by the age of 11 or 12 or 13, we're going to get left behind. If I don't go play with this team or that team, you're evidence that sometimes it takes till you're in college.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the same height I am now, but I weighed about 30 pounds less and didn't throw the ball very hard in high school. So it's something where I developed late, and so I just kind of had to trust the process, rely on my spin, and know that it took time. You don't all have to be the best pitcher in the country coming out of high school.
Well, and coming from a mid-major program, still getting an opportunity to play professionally. I think people around the country thought, oh, wow, Belmont got a star to be able to get in the AUSL, but you've been a star for a really long time. I was able to cover you in your regionals at Alabama, and you've been impressive for a very long time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kickboxer?
Yes. Yeah.
A bronze medalist
yes.
in kickboxing?
Yes.
Back 14 years ago?
Yes. This front tooth is fake, actually. I got it kicked out.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Nobody needed to know that. It's okay.
I like the honesty there. As Leonard comes in for the 11th run of the game. And now heading to second base. Nearly another overthrow. Sport Doslik slides in there. So aren't a lot of kickboxers who then say, you know what, let me do the softball thing. How did that happen?
Well, I was in both. I was doing both for a while, but for the level that I wanted to play at with softball, I knew that I couldn't maintain both. So late middle school, like 7th, 8th grade, I transitioned to just playing softball. But I think that's why I like pitching so much. There's so much adrenaline with that position specifically, and it kind of correlates really well to the adrenaline you have when you're in the ring fighting someone. So I think it was an easy transition for me to make.
So we're next to a fighter. We need to be nice.
Okay, hold on a second. You were in kickboxing, someone trying to really physically hurt you, and you got nervous for a first pitch at Little League.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that I'm painting the right picture here.
Yes, yes, I did.
She's also afraid of her shadow, but we didn't have to talk about it. No, and in a situation like this, Maya, it's really difficult when the odds are stacked against you. You're facing a lot of weather. You maybe are down 11 runs in a ball game that means a lot. How do you stay engaged in the dugout, and how do you help your teammates?
Yeah, I think it can be really easy to get caught up in the emotions of it. I mean, when you work so hard for something and care so much about something, you obviously want to be successful with it. So I think if you feel like you don't have it that day, you're facing adversity, turn to someone next to you and pour into them. It's so easy to stay locked into the game when you're pouring into the people around you. So you might strike out if you're at the plate, or I might give up a home run if I'm pitching, and I'm turning around and I'm saying, hey, that's my bat and I got your back as a teammate. And I think when you're pouring into the people around you, it's so much easier to stay focused, stay locked in, and to pick yourself up even after you're having maybe not your best performance.
Yeah, being others-centered here, not thinking about your own issues, as Connecticut certainly having to deal with plenty of theirs. 9 runs in the first, 2 here in the second. Viviana Gay at the plate. That one gets by the catcher, and another run scores. It's 12-0.
Well, Matt, you could look at this situation and wonder, like, why does New Jersey continue to just score runs in this tough situation? But I think more than anything, it's because they know that the run rule does come into play in the 3rd inning, and they're looking to get 15 runs to be able to shorten this ball game. But I love your comment that you made, Maya, about being able to pour into your teammate. That's exactly what happens when errors are made or you're in a tough spot. Sometimes it's easy to look inward. And so being able to pour into someone else really pulls you out of those moments. Who was it on your team this last year? Do you feel like that was your person in the circle?
You know, I think for me, there was a couple. I think second half of the season, there was a couple times where two of our pitchers that played in the JDL, Elena Botter and Jalen Ford, they came in relief after me, and there was one or two starts I had that maybe weren't my best, and they came in and they said, hey, I got your back, like I'm gonna finish this game for you, and they went in and they executed and they did a great job. So just knowing that you have people that can do that for you. But I think Sydney Romero was also a great person for me at shortstop. If there was ever a moment where maybe I gave up a hit or
a hit like that, Sophia Tolentino to the opposite way, and 2 on.
Yeah, gave up a hit like that in the 5-6 hole, or maybe even went over the fence. And Sydney Romero was always just coming in. She's like, take a breath, just like, you know how good you are. She goes, you're here, you're good, remember that. And I think she was a consistent voice for me, a very mature voice, mind you, in the infield for me. And so I think those are some of those people that I leaned on throughout the entire season.
Well, Sid named the associate head coach at Oregon now, so moving up the ranks in her coaching career, and also a tremendous shortstop for you guys this past season in Oklahoma.
No, our entire staff and our entire team was just really, really good about locking in for each other, and everybody was just a good reminder to each other of like, hey, if I'm not having my best day, I got you, I'm gonna pick you up. And that was a consistent thing, whether it was someone on the pitching staff, someone in our lineup, I might go give up a run and my team is gonna go score 2. And so that was just a really cool environment to be in, especially as a rookie kind of trying to figure out the ropes of what the AUSL is.
Liana Gay at the plate. Her dad down there at third base. Your parents who coached you growing up?
Yeah, my dad did.
For how long?
Coached me up until 12, and then I think we realized that maybe it was better to not have him coaching me, calling pitches. But I remember when I was younger, we used to throw with a wet ball to try and simulate rainy conditions. He was intense, but in the best way.
Well, and now you're a pro because of him. So let's go ahead and tip the cap to Dad, who made it hard, but also your tenacity through everything that you've gone through has been really impressive. Has there just been one moment where you thought, I'm not going to let this win?
I think there was a very specific moment this past fall when I was doing my chemotherapy infusions, and I remember calling my teammate for a moment and being like, I can't do this anymore. And she stopped and she was like, if you feel like you can't do it, we know that you can. Let us carry you and let us help you do it. And in that moment, I gave myself a second. I said, you know what? You're right. I fought too hard to even play college softball. I'm not letting this take away my opportunity to play pro, my opportunity to finish my career. You're right. Like I can do this. And I have people I can lean on even when I feel like I can't. So.
Great. Liana Gay had that single to drive in another run. And now the 14th and 15th runs are on base. Gia Gatto is here at the plate with 2 on and 2 out. That one is fouled away, 0-2. With 2 outs to Gia Gatto. Gatto to left and right into the glove of McKinley Whitlock. Maya, thanks so much for being with us. That was awesome.
Thank you for having me. I was excited. I knew about this. I wasn't nervous to be in the booth.
Apparently not. You did really well. You cared. That was about a 15-minute half inning. You did a great job. Show us the tooth, by the way.
This one.
That one. Oh, my gosh. That's the fake one right there. Kickboxing, not softball. That's where that one got knocked out. Great job. Thank you.
He always looks funny.
Break it up. No more social hour. You three, break it up.
Girls, go out. Girls, go.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Matt Schick, Jenny Dalton-Hill here with you. 13-0 New Jersey. So a very competitive first game today as Washington eliminated Texas. And now New Jersey perhaps on the precipice of doing the same with Connecticut.
Leading off the New England third, 21, Faith Marie Soto.
Faith Marie Soto, 10, 11, and 12 are going to lead things off here in the third inning. Fear Jaylen Brown with a lead like this. Find the glove, find the zone, and get out of the half inning. That one, ground ball to Frank the Tank.
Nice job over there at shortstop. Frankie Velarde has done a really good job of being aggressive on the ground balls and giving some decent throws over there to Juliana Florek-Doslik. And that's moving those feet, getting in front of it. Nice little throw over there across the diamond.
Alex Patterson now up for Bristol Girls Softball Little League. One of the team's more versatile defenders. Not in the field so far here today. The 13-year-old utility player was 0 for 1 against Kentucky yesterday. And that one right over the glove of Velarde. Second hit of the day for Connecticut. More softball today and tomorrow. Then Thursday, it's Major League Baseball as the Royals host the Twins, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and streaming on the ESPN app.
Well, she's got a baseball shirt with a softball twist.
And remember, the Little League Classic coming your way at the Little League Baseball World Series, one of the great annual events.
Pretty cool for all of these players to be able to have athletes to look up to. It used to only be MLB players that these girls could find to emulate their game. Now they've got the Pro Softball League, the AUSL, to be able to find an athlete that they like to follow and have the opportunity to see here at the Little League World Series, as the pro game will be happening here tomorrow. Well, not at this field, over at East Carolina.
I would love to see it here.
Well, and these field dimensions are actually pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, the only difference is the distance of the fence.
The throw down, runner goes and is in there. Alex Patterson slides safely.
When you think about the distance of a college field, I mean, it's 190 down the line at some fields. Even in the pro game, Duke softball field has 190 down the line as well. Nice little stolen base, though, to put herself in scoring position.
Foul tip from Pavlak. Her nickname is Apples. They say if Juliana isn't eating apples, something is wrong. Constantly eating apples before games. I'm going to guess she never has to go see the doctor.
It does keep them away. Let's hope her dad's not a doctor or her mom.
Pavlak staying alive here, the 12-hole hitter.
Pavlik did not have a hit in regionals, but right now putting together some really good swings on pitches coming out of the circle from Jaylen Brown. A lot of change-ups. You have to stay in your legs. You don't want to let the ball each up when it comes in slow.
Change-up is there, and that is filthy.
It's almost unfair with how good that changeup is by Jaylen Brown. Just the release, and just floats past you. You see it coming in. She thought it might have been a little too high, but no, strike 3.
Good stop there by the catcher, Gay. Well, New England and Bristol, they've trailed before, maybe not by this margin, but they're used to playing from behind. Gay stopped it, but not before Patterson got to third. First run of the game for Connecticut, now 60 feet away. But in the regionals, they trailed Maine 1-0 and won. They trailed Rhode Island 1-0, won that game. And in that championship game, trailed Rhode Island 3-1 entering the late innings and staged a big comeback and won the game.
On the offensive strength of this ball club is their base running aggressiveness, and they've been asked to rise to the challenge to a lot of those come from behind wins. I mean, it was the regional final when they trailed in the 6th inning and then pushed through the emotions of that moment for the 4-3 win over Rhode Island.
3-1 now. Yeah, Avery Collins had the walk-off single, infield single, to help deliver them here. Throw back on the walk. So runners on the corners now.
Smack it. Hey, hey. World Series, home run. Let's go. Get it started. Get it started.
Did he just call a home run?
He wants it. Kiva Knowles. Two outs here, trailing by 13 runs. Trying to scratch run across here in the 3rd. But 2 outs, being very careful there first for Bastians. Usually 1st and 3rd, maybe take the base, but you just never know. Change up. Misses 2-1.
Well, her defense over at first base has been really crucial to this ball club, and so now being able to pick up her stick, she has a chance to score a run.
The 2-2. That one to right field, and that's going to fall. And it gets by the right fielder, Tolentino. Bastians is going to score all the way from first. And how about a 2 RBI triple for Kiva Knowles?
Kiva Knowles is the difference maker in this ball game. Look at that, down and away, allows it to travel, keeps the barrel back, weight back, and drives that ball down the right field line. Beautiful piece of hitting, and past Tolentino out there and right. It was off to the races, a triple for Knowles.
Connecticut scoring more runs today than they did yesterday in the one-run rule loss. A 15-1 setback to Kentucky. Trying to avoid a run rule in this one as well. Ground ball. Oh, what a scoop there by Curley. Wow. Annalise Curley showing the glove and the hose at third. 13-2, New Jersey with the lead. The Little League Softball World Series is presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. Welcome back to the Little League Softball World Series presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Match fix Jenny Dalton Hill. Team Japan getting set to take on California. 4 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN2. They've traveled more than 7,000 miles away. The shortest, the smallest team. You know what? They started 1-0. Took a tough loss yesterday, but here they are today. Ready to take the field here just a little bit. Nearly 24,000 combined miles. That's my favorite feature that they have here in Greenville every single season. I'm sure those from Europe and other continents and countries hate seeing the Johnston Little League, where it says 68 miles on there. That's just not fair.
Yeah, such a sacrifice for them to have to come here. I'm sure there were travel delays and struggles to get here. They maybe had to stop for, you know, a potty break or something on the way. While Japan left from Osaka, took them 14 hours, a 2-hour flight, another 9-hour flight to get here to Greenville. And a 14-hour delay.
But you don't understand. I mean, the traffic on 85.
You're right. And construction, always construction.
You just don't get it. Tisha with the stop, who's in there at second base. Check that. Tisha is at catcher now. That is Mary Thompson reinstalled there at second base. 13-2. Jersey with the lead as Copen grounds out. Shaylin Seaman, who reached on an error her last time up. This is a New Jersey team that had to deal with some adversity in the state tournament. State championship, trailed 3-0 in the first inning, came back to win. 7 runs in that first inning to come back. Coach Gay saying, yeah, we just needed a little adversity heading into regionals. And they had some there as well. Lost to Pennsylvania in regionals by a run. As the Fergie with the assist, 2 away.
And a great response. You know, you want to be able to flush the last couple of innings. It's been a tough start for this Connecticut ball club, but 2 quick outs give them a chance to have an efficient inning, but they do flip the lineup back over to some hot hitters.
Top of the order now, Annalise Curley. We saw that make that great play at third to end the last half inning. Multi-sport athlete Curley, and that one is crushed to center field, and that's going over the, oh, what a catch! What an absolutely marvelous catch in center field. Lucy Callett with the play in center, bringing everyone to their feet. She came in, she went out, and the ball finds the glove.
Amazing glove work after a path that was taking her a little too shallow. Makes a great attempt. Big catch to get out of the inning.
What a catch. What a catch from Ellie Tisha in center field. Even surprised herself. They might come up on the short end of the stick here, trailing New Jersey, but they'll have some highlights to take home with them in their overhead bid. Japan and California also an elimination game coming up after we're done.
Well, but in that catch in center field, she took too shallow of an angle to that ball and had to redirect her path and get a little bit deeper. I don't think she thought she was going to get there, the way that she reacted to that catch.
I mean, what do you yell as a coach? First step back! I mean, you're always yelling that, and she took like 2 steps in. And then she caught herself off guard by being able to catch that one. I mean, crack of the bat, you're always like, oh, it's so far away, I'll go in to catch it. No, but then now she's backtracking. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. I bet it. Can I? I did, and then this.
Oh, my goodness. Did you see what just happened?
Da-da-da, da-da-da.
No, and you're just looking for those bright moments.
You just made SportsCenter.
Well, Matt's a SportsCenter.
I mean, I'm not conducting my own SportsCenter here, but I don't know how much sports action's going on here in these United States, but I imagine you might see that again later tonight.
That was really awesome.
Number 12, Ava Lafergie.
This team has been on Sports. I mean, they were in the SportsCenter set in the ESPN studio. And here they are with the coaches and all the players. How about that?
So composed. I think they had a connection, but still really cool to be able to get in studio, wear your uniform, all-stars. Little League's where it's at.
They've been in the SportsCenter studio more than I have. I've been here 15 years. Ava Lafergie at the plate.
It's all about who you know.
I suppose. I'm going to send some better emails. Lafergie showing some toughness today. She was knocked out of the game last night with a lower body injury in the circle and did not start the day in the circle, but has pitched the last inning plus. Lafergie, right back up the box through Brown, and a leadoff single. Connecticut in run rule territory here, so they need a couple of runs. Check this out with Tisha.
SportsCenter, baby. Yo. Yo. Listen.
Adam Whitlock, the green with me. That's SportsCenter right there. He's my colleague, Jenny.
Well, he also can get you on SportsCenter, Matt. And I don't see him pulling any strings for you.
I mean, Adam, come on. I've got my tie, I've got my suit, I've got access to planes.
Hey, you're busy right now.
I will be in Bristol this weekend.
Okay.
For, don't feign interest, for the Little League baseball around the bases. We did that for the girls softball, for the regionals, and we're going to do that for the boys this weekend
for their
regionals.
You were in studio doing that whip around with
Kayla McClinney was there. Michelle Smith. Alex Powers.
Love that.
Was there in studio.
Got a message from Alex Powers yesterday. She works with one of the moms for that Florida team and a big fan of that ball club who's been swinging some really, really big sticks.
McKinley Whitlock at the plate, 2-2. She represents the game continuing run, if that's a phrase we can use here, if we just made it up. But 10 runs after 4 is the margin for the mercy rule, for the run rule, I should say. Connecticut not giving up.
And that's the quality you're looking for in a ball club. Are you able to still fight when you're down by a lot, facing big odds? These are the kinds of qualities that you learn in sports. You know, and Little League teaches you how to be a competitor and how to be gritty and how to fight with your back against the wall. These are difficult moments faced at a very young age that pay dividends well into the future.
McKinley Whitlock struck out her first time up and skies this one to the shortstop. Frank Frankie. Frank the Tank puts that one away for the first down.
Third baseman, 17, Avery.
And the smiles still big on both sides of this game. Obviously up against really big odds. This Connecticut team continues to fight. They've got a runner in scoring position, and that can be a pivotal run in this game.
Stopped there by Leona Gay. Avery Collins. We had the walk-off infield single to send Connecticut here. Collins looks at a strike, 2-1.
And Collins worked the 3-2 count to be able to get that hard hit to win regionals. She had a really tough state tournament, but showed great grit to come back in regionals to get that big hit. Didn't give up, even after having a tough tournament the weekend before.
3-1. 3-2 now to Collins. 4 elimination games today in Greenville. We've already sent Texas packing, although they're welcome to stay as long as they'd like.
They might want an umbrella.
The 3-2. Ground ball and foul. Japan and California will fight to stay alive in our next game. Brown to Collins. Collins to center field, right into the glove of Copen for the second out.
And Collins has made 2 loud outs in this ball club. Hit a hard line drive at the shortstop Velarde in her first at bat, and that was a deep drive out there to center. I mean, she's putting some good barrel on the ball.
Well, there's 5 of the first 9 games decided via run rule. We had 5 in the previous 3 years combined. We've had 1 game decided by 1 run so far this week.
Well, we've talked multiple times about how the first inning has seen a lot of scoring, and I think what happens is you get back on your heels when you start a game with that many runs against you, and so it can be hard to compete against that, knowing that you've got a big mountain to climb to try to get the win.
2-1 now to Mary Thompson. Of course, both of these teams raising funds to get here. This, as we all know, whether you're playing for a club team or Little League, when you're going out of state, nothing comes cheap. And they, in New Jersey, had a GoFundMe, raised a lot of money, a lot of local businesses that have helped them out. Charlie's Pizzeria, Miss Walker's Ice Cream, Silver Bay Bagels. A lot of those places making me want to take a trip to New Jersey. Twin City Glass as well. Burger 25, Toms River.
Well, he also talked about how they went canning and explained that that just meant, you know, setting the cans out at the different locations for people to drop some donations in. He said canning was a big part of their fundraising as well.
People would see them raising money and say, hey, I just saw you on ESPN over the weekend. That one bounces. And a walk from Mary Thompson. And if Mary Thompson can score, we will play another inning.
I think that's what you're playing for right now, is just to extend this ball game. You don't need to try to win it all right now, but that base runner over there at first base is an important run. You're starting to see some slumped shoulders out of Jalen Brown in the circle, even though she's got an 11-run lead. Starting to show a little bit of emotion that maybe shouldn't be there, and she's getting frustrated by her lack of grip out there in the circle.
91 pitches deep here. Not as high of a strike percentage as she would like. That one is low, and a 3-0 count here. You're New Jersey. You're trying to just get out of this right now. End this game. You just need 1 more out. That one is low.
As a coach, when you see your pitcher struggling like this, you need to call timeout. Go out and start having that conversation about how you've got an 11-run lead. You don't need to struggle.
Should I give this to her? Jay, wait. Jalen. It's okay, listen. Just keep doing your job. Just keep doing your job.
Man of many words in Neil Gay. Didn't have much to say there. Let's just do your job. We're all good.
And I like that she put her rosin in her back pocket, didn't leave it on the ground to get wet. Smart move.
The rain picking up here a little bit at an inopportune time. The New Jersey is 1 out away from ending this game. Weather in the area, more rain is coming. And you can see she just lost that ball, and the run scores. Now it's becoming an issue. And now 1 run away from having us play another inning. Ellie Tisha, who made the acrobatic catch in center field. Ball called here 2-0. Jaylen Brown has lost control, and the weather certainly has something to do with that. She's working quickly. Ground ball and foul, 2-1.
Well, she needs to be careful, though, because she keeps the ball in her glove, but also keeps her hand in her glove when she's receiving it back from the catcher and then stepping on the pitching plate with hands together, and that's actually an illegal pitch. So she needs to be careful to make sure that her hand is not on the ball when she steps on the pitcher's plate like she did there.
The 2-1. Just out of the zone. 3-1. Home plate umpire Alexis Lopez Hernandez behind the plate. And that one called a ball. So now the all-important 4th run is at third base.
Hey, I need you!
Faith Marie Soto, who grounded out her last time out. Force outs everywhere. That one off the hand as well.
This is just a tough spot. Her towel is wet. She's having a hard time just even getting a grip on the ball.
That one fouled away.
And
so
really,
she works ahead.
Really good job to deliver a strike.
One more out here for New Jersey. That one bounces to the catcher. The rain's coming down. It's 2-1 here after that illegal pitch. I'll give the home plate umpire credit. He's not widening that strike zone given the score and the weather. And now we're sending everyone off the field. We were 1 strike away, 1 out away. And unfortunately, the rains have increased. That is such an unlucky circumstance.
Depends on who you are. Connecticut's looking at this as their opportunity to change the rhythm and momentum of this ball game and keep fighting. They've got a runner on third base that will extend the game.
We will send you to tape programming. New Jersey with a 13-3 lead. We're in the 4th.
It's out of my hands now, but I put you in there.
Mid-Atlantic. Now in home field, 13 Briella Boswell.
What is that bright object in the sky? Covered a little bit by the clouds, but Jenny, I think that's the sun. 13-3 lead for New Jersey here. A 50-minute weather delay between these two teams when there was one out perhaps from the Mid-Atlantic region champs advancing from New Jersey as they have a 10-run lead over Connecticut. The winner advances to tomorrow against either Japan or California. During the break, no, we don't rest here at Little League. We don't just sit on our laurels. We have some fun. How about some tic-tac-toe across the tarp? That's awesome.
Well, and they came away with 2 tie games. This game, though, softball is not tied. This one's going to have a winner, and we're hoping that Jaylen Brown in the circle is going to be able to make it a kind of a quick finish.
Well, we shall see. The challenge before we went to break was that Jaylen Brown just could not hold on to the softball. She had a couple of balls that just slipped out of her hand behind her, which go down as illegal pitches. So now the bases are loaded, and it's a 2-1 count here to Faith Marie Soto. She's had this 2-1 count for about 50 minutes. She's had a long time to think about this. We could be 1 pitch away from being done. We could be much longer than that if Connecticut puts together a rally. The 10-run rule is in effect. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2, and now, again, New Jersey is one strike away from ending this game. The 2-2. That one goes behind the catcher. And now it's 3-2.
I mean, in this situation, it is all about making sure you protect the plate. Jaylen Brown has had control issues because of the weather. It all comes down to this.
In there, ground ball, the short. This will end it, and it does. 50 minutes later, and a few raindrops later, New Jersey ends it with a 10-run rule win over Connecticut.
And congratulations to New Jersey, finding a way to wake up the bats early in this ball game, putting up 13 runs in the first 2 innings, and it was too much for Connecticut to come back from. Good fight by the Connecticut team to get here, but the Bristol Girls Softball Little League, unfortunately, will be heading home.
New Jersey survives. They will take on either Japan or California tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We've seen some great play from this Connecticut team. Ellie Tisha, number 6, you saw her walking away. Great catch in center field. And some great memories that have been made. But the season does come to an end for Connecticut. Washington got a pretty momentous win this morning against Texas. They were down 2-1, and came back to win 7-3. Maddie Locker's terrific.
She was outstanding. I mean, Texas had Avery Cox, a flamethrower, in the circle, but Washington got the advantage early and didn't look back.
Matt Schick along with Jenny Dalton-Hill. What a time it has been. What a week it has been for Jenny, for Aaron, who's done a great job producing so far this week. Our final score, 13-3. As the Mid-Atlantic region champs from New Jersey get it done. California and Japan coming up on ESPN2.